two sport parents' background anger. What would you guess?
Hollering at the refs.
Hollering at the ref.
Field goal arms.
Field goal arms.
Okay, so I've actually, like, the parent in the corner that does this all game in Dallas, I call them field goal arms because I'm counting how many points the Cowboys have scored.
Oh,
that
right.
Day, just because they have an arms up. Just
Okay.
21 points is the highest I've gotten in a season.
21.
In a game, yes.
Okay. Well, field goal arms didn't come up in the top two, but it might be related. What? So yelling at the ref and what else?
Yelling at the child.
Yelling at the child doing what?
Well, complaining about how they're playing. Skate faster, do this, do that. Yelling instructions from the sideline.
Coaching from the sidelines when you're not the coach. Okay? And yelling at the ref. Top two. Top two. Now, this is your point. As coaches, as team managers, if you talk to parents, look, I went to this symposium. I learned these top two background anger behaviors. This is why we're not going to allow these two things to happen at the rink this year. If you can get rid of these two things, you're going to change the climate already. And I have not, in my review of the literature, have not seen anything on the human genome of the coaching from the sidelines and yelling at the ref gene. This is learned bad behavior, and it can stop. Now again, it's not all parents doing it all the time, but it's enough parents doing it frequently enough that we can make some change. Okay. Now, one summer, two of my grad students and I spent a whole summer coding data on what makes sport parents angry. And the reason why I asked the question is because if we know what makes them angry, we can head them off at the pass. So what is the number one thing that makes parents angry?
Kids loafing.
Kids loafing. That did come up, but it wasn't number one.
Perceived bad referee. They perceive as bad calls.
Ding!
Oh.
Okay? Yes, the ref. The ref came up over and over and over again. Okay? And we kind of put this in two categories. It's the parent perception, not reality. The parent perception of incompetence. Ref doesn't know what blah, blah, he's doing, right? We're yelling at the ref. That's background anger. Now, a lot of refs are kids. So not only are we yelling at the ref, we're yelling at kid refs. Shame on them. Okay? That's bad. And injustice. It's dirty. My kid's going to get hurt. Okay, there's some real concern there. But it's the perception of these two things. So again, you can talk to your parents about this. We know you get mad at the ref. The ref is a human being too. Let it go. When I was coaching tennis, I told my sport parents, you have to set the expectation. I don't want to hear one word about line calls. Not one. You know what? Your daughter makes bad line calls too. Get over it. That's tennis. The ref's going to make bad calls for you. Ref's going to make bad calls for them. You know what? The other parents on the other team, they're yelling at the ref too. So let's just give the ref a break. And we lose 40% of referees every year. It's a problem, right? How many refs in the room? Okay, we could. That's another session, right? Quick question?
Now, one of the other things, because I have a big parent talk that kind of covers a lot of this.
Yep.
One of the things we tell them that kind of brings it home to them a little more is that they're usually trying to teach their kids respect for authority. We say, what message are you sending your kids when they are screaming at someone in a position of authority? And sometimes that makes them kind of like, oh.
Exactly. You hit. I think you led me right into my next slide.
Sorry.
No, that's good. That's because you're exactly right. Is that if we look at the data, this is soccer data, but this is all the teams in Minnesota youth soccer. From U9 to U19. So hockey's not going to be that different. Here's the background anger scale. Okay? Now, these are not they're not cause and effect, but they're two different data sets. But if you look at the same age group, right about adolescence, sport dropouts happening, but background anger is going up. My theory, and again, this is not cause and effect, but if any of youth sport dropout has to do with what's going on the sidelines, that can be changed. Okay? That can be changed. Now, I want to get to the kids speak because this is awesome research study that Diane and Jens did. They actually asked kids, what do you prefer and not prefer your parents to do? And they had a recent article that just came out on this data, and they found 3 categories that kids talked about. They called the crazed fan, the demanding coach, and the supportive parent. And I have a quote from each. The first one, okay, it's disruptive. So dad on the glass, parents coaching from the sideline, they don't like that. It's distractive, it's embarrassing. Second one, the demanding coach. Let us play. We don't want you treating us like remote control cars. Pass it. No, shoot, shoot, shoot. Get back, get back, get back. Keep them wide. Right? No, not that. Okay? The demanding coach. Get rid of the remote control. Let them play. So things that kids tell us they don't like. And again, you can teach this to your sport parents. This is what kids say. Don't yell at them. Don't coach from the sideline. Don't say mean things about their opponents. They're kids too. Don't swear. Don't jump up and down. Don't just cheer only for me and holler out my name 50 times during the game, right? You got to look like you're paying attention. I want you to come. I want you to look like you care. Don't be on the iPhone, reading the paper, chatting with the neighbor. Mom, did you see my goal? Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it. Like you didn't see it. Okay, distract or disrupt, or blame the loss on the official. Here's the deal about refs. People get angry about the refs. You can't control the ref. Teach the kids, they can't control the ref either. We waste a lot of energy on that poor referee. I've never once seen a parent yell at a referee and the ref goes, I'm sorry, you're right. That wasn't cross-checking. I'll change my mind. Hey, you, come back out of the penalty box. Never happened, so let it go, okay? And I think of this little guy. I was in Chipotle, and he was in line in front of me with his mom. Little soccer player, sweaty, shin guards, grass stains. And he's getting his burrito, and the woman at the cash register goes, hey, how was your soccer game? And before he even got anything out of his mouth, the mom jumped in and said, well, it would have been great, except the ref sucked. And I was like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. You're just here to get the burrito and leave. Leave that poor woman alone. Of course, I couldn't let it go. But he walked by and I tapped him on the arm and I said, well, hey, did you have fun? You know. And he looked at me and he's like, well, it would have been fun except the ref sucked. Teach your parents to not blame losses on the official or the other team. Like, oh, they just played dirty, right? You know what? Let it go. All right. So we know that the potential of sport is great. When we create a positive climate, good things happen. When we don't, we get characters. So sport can create character, lifelong skills and assets, or they can create characters, and it's up to us. So we talked about the toxic climate, primary focus on winning, background anger, comparing your kids to others, help them be the best they can be, and thinking your child is an investment. This is a toxic climate and a recipe for bad outcomes, stress, anxiety, burnout, dropout. Sad kids. And in this toxic climate, created by adults, by the way, kids demonstrate bad sport behavior. They'll cheat to win, they'll think it's okay, they'll try to injure people. We know this from the research. There's a whole body of research on this. When kids perceive a toxic climate exists, this is what we get. Is this what we want? And we also, going back to the comment in the back, is that poor sport behavior on the ice, on the field, on the court is predictive when kids see adults yelling at the ref, fighting, screaming, coaching. When parents define success as winning. When parents give unequal attention. Hey, you guys won, let's go to the Dairy Queen. Hey, you lost, get in the van, we're going home. Okay? That's contingent on outcome. When parents expect their kids to be good, and when the parents make the kids feel worried about losing. When this happens, kids are going to cheat to win. They'll do anything they can to win because the parents have created a toxic climate. So when we do these things as adults, this is not likely to occur. But these over here are. We know that from the literature. When it's a toxic climate, we're more likely to get negative outcomes. So again, tell the parents, look, you're not showing up to ruin your kid's sport experience, but you might be doing it anyway. So let's think about this and create a change together.